What did you say about the African Americans?
Well, he said we don't have any culture. When he looks like our culture, you know what I'm saying?
All right, wait, hold on. How does that look like? So I want to say something about this because I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Like because we have a lot, because I'm a Nigerian-American, right?
Yeah.
And our show is predominantly like a lot of Africans on our show. So we have a lot of these kind of conversations.
Yes.
So someone like myself, I would say certain things that may offend other people. I may say something to offend an African American person, right? And they would now look at me and say, "Well, you look like us. You're trying to look like us.
No,
you're
you
trying
are
to
one.
dress
You
like
are one
us."
of us. You're American as well, right? You said
I'm American, but because I guess I'm Nigerian as well, they're thinking I'm trying to look like you guys. I'm trying to talk like you, but I'm American. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, what does an American person look like, and what does an African person look? How is an American person supposed to dress as opposed to an African person? That's what I think.
I think it's pretty obvious when you look at Black American culture. Like, we do dress. We have a different swag about us. Our fashion sense is different. Even with you ladies, you guys are wearing wigs and weaves. Not saying y'all. I'm saying in general, African women do be wearing that. Yeah. I've never associated women in the motherland being I haven't seen that. Y'all usually present with your natural hair more. I think that aesthetic is
great point.
A Black American aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just me personally. Like I said, I have never, when I looked at the motherland of African women from the motherland, I've never looked at them having all of this makeup and, you know, enhancements and surgeries and stuff like that. Like, so that to me is an aspect of looking the part of a Black American woman. Like, you know what I mean? So even how certain Black men...
But also, where did Black American women get that look from? They got it from the Europeans. So that's why I feel like Black Americans and Africans are on the same wave.
Where do you think?
Because we're all wearing...
Where do you think the world get most of its fashion advice or sense from, or styles from? A Black man walking up and down the block who made his designs or made his appeal. LL Cool J, knowledgeable for rolling his leg up. You know, and this is where I see Burna Boy rolling one leg up.
To hone in on the clip with Burna Boy specifically saying African Americans do not have culture. What did he mean by that? Because African Americans do have culture.
Well, if you ask a lot of Caribbean people or even African people, they question African Americans. Right. There's no war. You get what I'm saying? We want to be respected just as much. Shit, if you let alone, we was shipped here without our permission. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
and I think that's where the confusion comes in, because the culture is lost for African Americans. But they don't know.
We shouldn't be attacked.
Started here 400 years ago. It came from Africa. So now you got Senegalese culture mixed in. You got Morocco culture mixed in with African American culture. Even just in Louisiana, gumbo, okra, all that came from West Africa. For them to pick up those traditions and cultures. So that's where they're saying you don't really know where the culture is, because it's coming from thousands of languages and tribes and countries, because we were shipped all over. We didn't ask to, you know what I'm saying? So that's where they're like, necessarily where they're honing in, where it's like, you don't have cultures because...
But you shouldn't say that. We built a culture.
You built a culture.
African Americans, you guys, you do definitely have your own culture. I can definitely say. I would never take that away from...
It's because it's lost.
No, even
it's lost.
But
culture.
I would
that's
never.
a mindset from thinking outside the box. We had to create as we go. Like everything. Our language, how we talk, how we walk, what we make is also unique to what we are.
Absolutely,
you know what I'm saying.
I would never take that.
So I think it's just more so what has to be told to him, that they do have culture, but it was made and created. And it became their own culture, hip hop. That's literally a culture from Black African Americans.
So my question now for you is: would you now say African American culture derives from African culture?
I think we all take a little bit of something from each other. That's shit is things.
I think that is true. And matter of fact, Art, can you play that clip that I had real quick, because this is going to correlate kind of to this whole conversation.
What do you say when people say where you from?
America.
No, where's your country?
My country is America. I was born in New York, raised in...
Where your parents from?
My parents are from New York.
Americans, they don't know where they're from, you know.
I think American Black people are the most lost Black people in the world. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you see Black people over here, They know where they come from. We all know where we come from.
What are some negative stereotypes y'all heard about Black Americans from your parents, from your friends?
You literally said it all.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right.
Like my mom would tell me not to marry an African American.
Yeah.
Right.
She says it all the time.
My parents are both from Grenada. They came here in the 80s and 90s. So what he was saying about how they think that Black people are lazy does resonate with me because I've heard that a lot.
And I'm West African, Nigerian, because if you remember the movie Sugar Hill, and there's a scene where they're doing the thing with the drug dealer, and the guy said, we can't work with akata. That's a word that they were calling the American blacks, akata, the Nigerians. Akata is a word that they use for American blacks. And Wesley Snipes was like, yo, what is this akata shit you keep calling us? And the guy goes, we don't want to work with cotton pickers. Africans come to America, and there's a lot of my African-American friends say, man, a lot of Africans are really mean towards us. They're really nasty towards us because they feel they're better towards us.
You being a man from an African family, what would your family say about you bringing like an American woman?
My daughter's mom is American. Most African parents, if we're being honest, they would actually prefer you bring home a white person.
I can't categorically say every Nigerian got this talk, but a lot of Nigerians that travel abroad got this talk from their family, where they will sit you down and tell you, you're going there. Don't go and talk to those Black Americans. Though. You just go and get pregnant. You get into drugs. You start become gang banging. They give you that talk. That just go to the white community, find a nice place. They just go and be decent. Stay with the white people. They give you that talk. So when you enter America, you already have a perception of African Americans. You judge them.
Well, we don't want them here.
They're your brothers and sisters.
They're not our brothers. They were taken away, unfortunately. We will develop by ourselves.
That video could have been a lot longer. I just wanted to to clip it. But again, when we talk about these diaspora wars, and I wanted to get into that later, but since we're already here, when you even type in diaspora wars, it seems to be, Africans or Caribbeans, and they have this disdain almost, or this disrespect when it comes towards Black Americans, often saying, you don't know where you don't come from, but they would never say that to a Haitian or a Jamaican or a Trinidadian, even though we all came from the same slave ship. It's just different stops. But for some reason, Black Americans or African Americans aren't looked at as a specific culture when Jamaicans are, or Haitians are, or whatever, Antigua, like all of them are looked at. Nobody questions their culture. So and the fact that we always have to answer our culture or is being questioned by people that look like us, you know what I mean, is very disrespectful. And especially when we have built a unique culture within America. And I think, unfortunately, the media does a good job at portraying only the negative stereotypes. It's just like when we were growing up, the stereotypes that we seen of Africans was the flies on the face. I didn't have this, that, and the third. So that's what we saw. So of course we had a negative perception. But we see as now 2025, 2024, we still seeing that narrative push that don't go to those Black Americans. They ratchet, they ghetto, they don't got no culture, which is just, to me, is very disrespectful. And it is a slap in the face, like as somebody who's a Black American.
Let me ask you something. What country in Africa are you from?
I'm from America. That's what we're saying. Just like a Jamaica, just like hold on. Just like somebody from Jamaica, they're not going to say what country in Africa they're from. Somebody in Haiti is not going to say what country from. They're going to say they're Haitian
because they were closer from what is it called, the triangular slave trade.
But then when you ask them that question, they're not going to have a definitive answer.
That's because they're already in their own community of Caribbeans, the Haitians, Jamaicans. They're all like in one bowl. But
Black Americans are in their own bowl as well.
The
like
reason why I asked that, that's why
questioned.
That's why Africans feel that way, because they feel like because you don't know where you come from, which is not by fault by Africans.
We know where we come from. We come from America, just like Jamaicans
I guess it's just more,
come from Jamaica. Like, what is the difference?
I think it's just more relatable from an African to see another African and be like, oh, where you come from? Oh, I'm from Ghana. I'm from this place. And they know so much about their culture because they do this, and this. So I feel like that's why they feel like you know so much about your culture in Africa. So that's what they're like, well, Americans don't know, because honestly, you guys don't know. When Africans come to America, they're busting their behinds to get degrees, become doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that. So when Africans look at African Americans, they're like, these people have credit cards. We don't even have credit cards. These people are not even working, and we come here and we busting our asses. Now we're doing this. We're now 6 figures, and these people have all these years to become all these great jobs and careers, and they're not doing anything. I'm just saying this is what they're saying. Yeah, this is the conversation. It's like, y'all have all this time to get free money, free loans, and we don't get that back at home.
Yeah,
but y'all get that when y'all come here, though.
Exactly, and guess what? We're right here, and y'all
But
are still here.
there's a lot of grants and loans and different
The
situations.
people from here is not getting them loans that y'all come here and get, though.
You said what you just said?
No, I said there's a lot of.
That's the point that they're proving. The people here are not even getting it. So it's like,
No,
what are
he's
y'all
saying the
doing?
black
No, I'm saying the black people here are not getting them same opportunities that y'all come from y'all Africa and come here and get. We don't get those.
We're considering not
But
just
let me-
Africans, everybody,
but
all
what-
the other countries are considering y'all as being lazy because it's like, why aren't y'all getting these? Like, why y'all not busting y'all asses to? Y'all should be better than the Chinese. This is if y'all Americans. Y'all should be better than America. Y'all should be better than Chinese people who coming over here.
But we
ruling
and the thing is,
My question is,
the thing is-
what are the opportunities that you think that we have over?
That's
you
different,
guys?
right?
The,
I wanna know
the
what it
grants, the loans, the scholarships and
that
stuff.
we're getting more than you guys.
I don't understand what. No, I've never heard of anything.
Are y'all seeing what's going on with the immigrants right now and how the benefits that they're receiving? Yeah, are y'all aware of this right now?
The immigrants were here.
Yeah, all of these immigrants
it's
are
all
coming
over.
into like New
York?
York and
Chicago,
I've
yeah.
heard about
Are you aware
that.
of the benefits that they're getting right now?
I'm
The
not
free
aware.
hotels and the free EBTs and all of this.
Getting
stuff?
$500 a
Wait,
week
before you
per
continue.
person.
Immigrants, what immigrants are you talking about? Because we're
You talking about the Mexicans?
Yeah, because that's what I see. I see is that the Guatemalans. That's
The
what I'm seeing.
Venezuelan, yeah, like.
We're not talking about them right now.
But
We're talking about
immigrants.
but
like,
yeah, immigrants. But what you just said is that Africans are getting more opportunities than African Americans.
Africans, Caribbeans, yes.
How?
We're not talking about the Venezuelans.
What do you mean,
right
how?
now. So answer that question. What
America is
opportunities?
giving immigrants from other countries more opportunities that they would give a black man specifically. If you look online, if you go online and search, we go online and search for grants and loans and everything specifically for black men. There's none.
And
But then that
NAACP
just
don't
shows-
have. They
that
have plenty of awards and scholarships for. And
that just shows you how
NAACP
America treats black people as a whole. It's America.
But
It
that's
don't
the point we're trying to get to y'all. That the reason we're not as far as people come from other countries and get is because
No, I'm sorry. No. This is not to be ignorant because you still haven't answered my question as to what us.
You want to know the name
You
of
want
the
a
grant?
specific grant?
Like, I don't get what
not
you're
even
saying.
not even just that because
Yeah.
there isn't anything specific that
we're doing.
we're receiving.
Yeah,
These
but-
people.
But hold on.
Okay,
You have not pointed out any simple direct way you can know that black people are lazy, but yet y'all can claim and give us that title. You don't know. You don't know that. This is what you
Chinese
heard.
people give y'all that
Listen,
title. It's
no.
not just American.
Africans as well. A lot of foreign
Yes,
people or
I
immigrant
agree.
people are doing that. We're not gonna cut the slack. Oh, it's everybody doing that shit to black Americans.
That is.
But do you know how hard it is? No, listen. Do you know how hard it is to leave your country, our home, Africa, wherever in Africa, to now even get a visa in itself is hard. It's not. It's
but
not.
why do
You know how hard it is to build America
We're not talking
for
about
free,
that right now, though,
for free,
my
and not to
dear.
get anything?
We're not-
Because you're
but-
only speaking from an
No,
African
no.
perspective.
but if it's so hard, why
African-Americans
do
built
millions of people
America.
do
Yes,
it
no, it's
every
fine.
day, every
But
year, every
I'm-
week, every
I
month?
don't want it to negate from what you're trying to say. Listen,
What is the shit that
No,
they give for school
scholarships?
Not the scholarships, but they had and they took away the rights recently.
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action. Look, that's being spread between. That was just supposed to be for African Americans, and they just
right.
made that shit for the whole anybody.
But what
It's the government
I
thing.
don't want to happen is I
But
don't want no one to take away from the hard work that Africans are doing to get to where they are. We're not getting.
We're not
anything
doing that.
free.
But if you
Nothing is
come here
free.
and you saying
Nothing is free.
disrespect to
Nothing is
African American,
easy.
look.
It's literally
Look,
they're
can I ask y'all a question? Y'all know Hispanic people, right? If a person doesn't know Spanish, but he's still considered Puerto Rican, right? Don't every Puerto Rican person still claim they're Puerto Rican? They're not. You American Spanish. They don't say that shit. But we got to hear from African people how we're not as black as they are because we were born in America.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this conversation, it's just like I said, it's very disingenuous to say black Americans are lazy, especially when black Americans are the reason why your family was able to leave your country and come to a better country and have a better opportunity. And we can't act like some Africans have came here because their families were well off. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's not act like every
But it's
family
not a
was
lot.
poor.
It's a very small percentage.
No, let's not act like every family was poor and they
the-
came over here like all struggling.
It's
and,
Africa.
Like,
It's a third world country. This is
yeah,
a first world country.
yeah, you
so
have to- you
9
can't
times out of 10,
compare.
everyone is coming over here.
Yeah,
with
but-
zero.
Yeah.
But
So that's what their point is. We're starting from zero.
Literally.
So that's what the
Black
comparison-
Americans started
No
from zero
credit, no
too.
nothing.
Like that's
no,
what I'm saying.
But
like,
we're talking about right now. We're coming here with no credit, no nothing, no job.
Neither are we.
Our degrees in Africa or wherever, Nigeria, Ghana.
Are
That's not,
useless.
we can't.
It's
use
like
it
going
here.
to middle school.
We're starting over from.
We don't even have an
So for you
education system
now-
to prosper
but for
from.
you to now sit there and try to
That's why black
say
people
that
gotta come
Africans
together.
we're not working as hard or we're getting things easier.
I don't think we're saying
It's
that. We're
not
saying we
fair.
don't
It's not fair.
we don't appreciate the disrespect.
Oh, I
Like
understand
the
that.
constant Black
Yeah.
Americans are lazy when that's simply not true.
No,
Black
yeah.
Americans are some of the most profitable, the richest Black nation on earth. Like, you know, we got the most degrees as a collective. Like, you know what I'm saying? So to come over here and to keep disrespecting us.
I think it's just more so saying some instead of saying everybody.
But you didn't say some when you was trying to paint all Africans as being got all these degrees. You ain't say some. You
Yeah,
tried to
so
group
it
all of them
just-
and try to make it seem like all of them are coming over here and prospering when that's simply not true either. Like,
Yeah, so some Africans who come over here, they do very well, more than some Americans. And some Americans, you know, are doing better than some Africans. I think we should just leave it at that. But on African side, they see it more of a ratio that we're honestly doing well, and they just feel like you guys are just not doing much. I think that's the better way to put it.
But that's wrong.
Yeah,
you get what I'm
that's
saying?
definitely wrong.
You're justifying the wrong. Like, I don't get it.
That's
Like,
wrong. And that doesn't mean that the disrespect has to get there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, it
Like,
doesn't.
because I would say, arguably, if Black Americans was in some of y'all countries, those countries would be way more better than they are today.
And honestly, that's what y'all should do. But people are doing it. It's just on a small scale. So I think it's just more so the scale. Like,
because I like, as a Black American, I don't know what it feels like to have to leave my country to go live somewhere else, because we have fought for everything for us to stay in this country and be able to make a living, not only for ourselves, but for the immigrants that's coming here. So I can't relate to leaving my country. I never did that. My people never left our country. We stayed here and fought for everything we had to get through: slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, all of that. We didn't have the luxury to be like, you know what? Let me go to fucking Saudi Arabia and just live my life thanks to the Saudi Arabians who made it possible. Like, no, we stood here and fought. So the fact that we have to get the disrespect, not even from not only from the white people, from the Asian people, now from the people that we thought was part of the African diaspora.
You supposed to
now
click up.
looking at us like, no, them niggas, you heard what they said on this shit. Stay away from them Black. These are African people telling African people to stay away from Black Americans. How you don't feel like?
But you also have to look at the statistics. What is it showing? Like, if I was to be with an American man, just any typical man, 9 out of 10, I'm probably going to be a baby mama. So that's what they're seeing. So if I marry an African man,
that's like
if
me
I was
going to
going
fucking Africa. 9 times out of 10, the poverty and all the fucking the corrupt politicians. It's like, it's the same shit.
It's
It's
what's
not
being
100%.
depicted. The reason
the
why,
same
let me
shit.
say
Like-
something though. The reason why Africans have this negative connotation on African Americans is because of the stereotypes, what they're seeing on TV. It doesn't make it facts. Nothing is factual. We're not. They. What they know is what they see. You can't really fault them. They're not here. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're
So
saying,
they're-
right?
you
We
get what I'm
see
saying?
we
So
see
in
negative
the same
stereotypes about
way- in the
Africans
same
too, but
way
we don't
as-
disrespect y'all.
y'all do.
You don't disrespect us, really.
I mean, in
Really?
the past,
example.
Really?
Oh, y'all from
The flies
Africa,
on the
y'all eat
face.
monkeys?
The flies
Nobody
on the,
says that.
the
No.
flies on the
Y'all
face.
do.
y'all eat monkeys?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Y'all walk around
Y'all-
naked.
first of all, y'all gotta
Y'all
stop.
have never talked about. Y'all
Y'all
never
have to
talked
stop
bad
with this.
about
When I was in high school, I called an African
there's
booty
grown
scratcher.
men- no, no,
Everybody
no.
got called an African.
But
We
I-
talking about grown ass adults calling
still
niggas
to this
akatas,
day.
calling
So
niggas
tell us.
akatas. Like, you
But
know
that's
what I'm
our
saying?
that's our
Like,
language. It's nothing offensive. It's just I'm a Akata. So for example, let's back it up. I'm Ghanaian and American, so I see both sides. So
Okay.
it's like Akata is nothing negative.
What-
Akata is an American Black person. I'm an Akata, but at the end of the day, I represent Ghana more because I know my culture from Ghana. For an example, my mom, she's American. I don't know what part of Africa she was from. My dad, he's Ghanaian.
She's American, like.
But at the end of the day,
Stop saying I don't know. They're American.
But-
you wouldn't say that to a Jamaican.
but
Would you
they're
say that to a
African
Jamaican?
American though.
Would you say a Jamaican don't know what part of Africa he from?
Jamaicans are Caribbean, so they already have their own like.
Would you
Haitian
say he don't know what part of Africa he
But
from?
he know where he comes from. He comes from Jamaica.
Just like a black person know they come
But
from.
I guess maybe okay. But I guess maybe they can. But I guess maybe.
Wait, one second.
I guess it's
One second.
easier to pinpoint.
A Jamaica is from Jamaica, right?
Yes.
An American is from where?
An African American is from Africa and America, but they don't know what part.
And this is why that term is confusing. Is which I hear people just say Black Americans now because we try to do the right thing and at least acknowledge our ancestry. Unlike you don't see a Haitian saying I'm African Haitian or a Jamaican saying I'm African. We try to do the right thing and acknowledge our ancestry, and now it's being used. Well, what part? Like no, just for that we just Black Americans now. Like fuck all that African American shit, bro. We Black Americans now, bro. Because if y'all don't question the Caribbeans, then y'all shouldn't question the Americans.
Caribbeans know where they come from. African Americans don't know.
They do not. They do not.
But you have to understand, like, there's a lot. Like Jamaicans, most of them they come from Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
So most of them can easily pinpoint where they're from in Africa.
But they don't get
a Jamaican is not going to say I'm from Ghana. He's going to say he's from Jamaica.
Y'all trying to bail them out. So what does a Haitian say?
I don't know.
What does somebody from Antigua say?
No, I don't know. But
they from their country.
Listen, I'm just trying to give you maybe a reason as to why. I'm not saying what they're doing or saying is correct. I'm just trying to give you guys maybe another way to look at it.
No,
because
it's wrong. We're not going to look at it a different way. It's just wrong. They need to stop.
It's easier for them to see. Okay,
I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm
you looking at it from the perspective of you from Africa, and you get why they saying they from Jamaica or whatever. But it's still wrong at the end of the day because we have our own country. Huh? It's not the truth. America is a country.
Yes,
they has culture there. So if I say I'm American from America. That's my culture.
I think it's more so pinpointing the Africa and African roots as far as they're saying y'all don't have culture, y'all don't know the history and the background of Africa, where y'all come from. So, like, for example, you wouldn't saying a Chinese person like, oh, I'm not Chinese, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would say...
I gave that example, too, about the Hispanic. They don't get questioned by other Hispanics whether they didn't know one bit of Spanish.
I mean, honestly, Black people, African-Americans, we should just come together and just be as one.
But that's what we're trying to do. But if you keep saying, like, yo, y'all not from here.
Well, you know what do y'all feel like y'all should do in order to know where you guys come from? Are you guys doing the DNA test?
We're telling you. We're telling you we're from
America.
America.
So you are still enforcing us to have to prove to you that we're Black enough or we're African enough. We don't feel like we need to do that.
So they're just
that's disrespectful.
How is that disrespectful?
Because you don't even want to try.
What? I gotta pay for you to love me? Get the fuck out of here.
Our lineage is in America.
What the fuck?
That's just the bottom line.
So
they don't want
the
to go back
is,
to see
how will we solve it? How will we solve this issue? Because I feel like it's not. We don't have to say like, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. We can say you don't know a lot about Africa. So what would you do?
Stop spitting the narrative of all these other people that's disrespecting Black Americans. Speak to us like how you want to be spoken to, and we'll do the same.
But what if that's not disrespectful to them? They just feel like you just
don't
give
me the fuck out of here, man. Send me a mothership. Get me the fuck out of here.
And they will love that because you're taking the time to go to Africa and to learn about it.
Y'all not even taking the time to talk to us without criticizing us. We're weak, we're lazy, we don't fuck with them.
The fact that you didn't want to do the DNA test, the fact that you didn't want to do this is showing how ignorant you are. That's what we see
ignorant because of that?
No, that's
you sound ignorant. Get the fuck out of here.
That's what we're saying.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yo, bro, what part of Africa are you from? What are you? Okay then.
So
but they would never question that, and that's what we find disrespectful. You wouldn't look at him.
Are you Jamaican?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would your parents expect you to look for your African roots to know where you're from? No. Okay.
But he would probably want to marry a Jamaican.
But my parents are definitely like everything from Africa. They're big into like the history of slavery and all of that. We're African, no matter which part of the Caribbean we're for, Black or whatever, we're African. They're pro on that.
Agreed.
As he said, with Jim Crow and everything, parents came here, they understood understand that just because we wasn't born here, the lineages are from here, we all are black. We're all gonna get treated the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we come to solutions when we all can agree, like, just because we're from this country or from that, we're still African. But when you got to constantly being like, well, you know, you're not really Africa because you can't identify, you ain't do the DNA testing to know which part or which tribe you came from. Like, yo, our experiences is unique in America, just like it's different in Jamaica. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Brits is different. It's different, like, lineages, but they're all African, like, at the end of the day. Like, and we acknowledge that. Black Americans have acknowledged that. It's not like we haven't acknowledged our roots. We call ourselves African Americans. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Some people say that they're like, the African Americans are saying that I'm not African.
Yeah, a lot of Africans, they don't want to
American.
consider African Americans. I think they
I didn't get on no boat.
But those could be the people that you would call ignorant.
Most of them.
And so that's what Africans are seeing, as those people who are like.
But that's not, they're saying black people.
Because there are a lot of black people who are saying, no, I'm not African.
Yeah, a lot of, most, if you
But
call your
that could also,
homeboys,
that
like,
could,
you
that could,
African? Hell no, I ain't African.
but that could also be in response to the disrespect that we get from African people, though.
Yeah, I mean, it
But
works both ways. Everybody
but at the end of the
everybody.
Right. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to respect. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, what part are you from? You just know that that's my brother because he's black. You know what I'm saying? If we take out the countries or whatever, everybody the same color, and the white people here gonna treat us all the same. They don't pull you over and be like, oh, you African?
Exactly.
So that's why I'm gonna leave you alone.
Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why it hurts though? Only because we are not going to Africa speaking that rhetoric towards you guys. You guys are flying over here speaking that rhetoric about us. You get
That's like us going over there like, damn, like, y'all got all these resources.
but
why y'all ain't do nothing with these resources? Y'all letting the Chinese come in and dictate everything. Why
Exactly.
If I was over here, I would have been did all. We got all the natural resources. I would have been did. Africa would have been fucking Wakanda by now. Like, that's like us saying that same rhetoric. Like,
but
you know
it's
what I mean?
true though. I agree.
But we're not gonna go over there and disrespect y'all like that.
What is not true?
No.
He's from Jamaica, right? Who own all the roads, the bridges, and the tolls? Who own? You know who own those? They don't own shit. My father lives in Jamaica. Can't even come to America. But they don't own shit over there either. But I'm saying they're not being questioned.
We're not owning a lot of. First of all, it's just, I just feel like I said before.
But this is not a predominantly black country. Africa is a black country and don't own shit. Like, that doesn't make sense.
When we come over to America,
Black continent, my fault.
Yeah, when we come over to America, you guys still disrespect us. It's the same. I just feel like each parties are disrespecting each other. We just have to come together.
I
as
agree.
One.
You know, I'll give you a great example, and then we're gonna move on, right?
Yeah.
That's like South Africa, right? That's like the whites going to South Africa. Now, when we look at the discrepancies of the wealthy white people compared to the black people, that's like a white European going over to South Africa who made it in South Africa, who's wealthier than the majority of the people that live in South Africa, and be like, damn, these black Africans or colors or whatever the fuck y'all want to identify, they lazy as fuck because I, as a white person, came over here to this continent or this country and I was able to make it, so y'all lazy as fuck. Like, that's the type of rhetoric that.
But that's what's happening though.
But are y'all lazy?
Or
because y'all come here and say y'all not lazy.
But then the white nigga.
But if a white person go to Africa, he gonna consider y'all lazy because he got further than the people there.
He already had more money and more opportunity.
Okay, right.
But that's the same shit for us here.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're saying, okay, so you're saying so who had more money, more resources when it comes to here?
They saying Africans, but I don't
know. No, not African. I'm saying.
Yeah.
You guys come here on the same notion of the people
you
that
say
have
the
money.
white people here have more resources and have more money compared to.
We built America and get paid $1.
Yeah, we in the negatives at this point.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And I feel like that's what makes it harder.
The thing is, y'all want us to work for less, and then when we know our worth, then y'all saying, oh, they don't want to work. No, we know our worth. Like, we've been working for less. You get what I'm saying? Like, we tired of working for less. We want our due diligence. We want what's owed to us, and it doesn't mean they're lazy. It just means they want what's due to them. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna be real with you. I just feel like it's gonna take time. If it hasn't been done already for the whole of all African Americans to become successful in 400 years, it's just gonna take more time for the African Americans just get on that level.
But what country do you know where everybody's successful? Like,
no, I'm just saying as far as like the derogatory, actions and comments about African Americans.
That's what I'm saying. Black Americans are the most successful out of every black nation on this earth. Like, financially, educationally. Like, if you compare Black Americans to any other nation and on the earth, we have the most capital, we have the most spending power, we have the most educated people. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this whole nation, and I get Africa, you could say Africa, but y'all divide yourselves by countries. So if you want to compare Nigerians to Black Americans, it's kind of unfair, like, because two different countries, bigger population. Maybe in Nigeria, probably a bigger population. But if you look at that population compared to Black Americans, better, we got higher spending power, we got more money, more education. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, this, I can't get over this nation that Black Americans
it's just more so based off what they see. They've never been here. So if they seeing in China all the Chinese people are poor and homeless, when we get over there and you finally see like,
they
okay,
got the
some
money,
people doing stuff, some people doing over here, but it's only a few of them who not doing nothing. So it's just they just never been here. So when they see and they ask their homeboy like, oh, okay, did you marry that girl? No, I ain't gonna marry. You know what I'm saying? So that's when it's like, oh, okay, so now the statistics. Okay, you a baby mama, you this, you having 10 kids out of wedlock, like baby mama here, baby, like, that's where it's just they're seeing the results by looking from what's around them. Like,
there's more Black fathers at home than any other group in America.
Is there? I never heard about that.
I'm saying, but y'all look up all the negative.
It's not even about the negatives. It's about I live in America, so I know what I see. I'm not blind to what I see in front of my face. And it's not to put anybody down, because I really hate this conversation because it's so divisive.
Right.
Even though it's a great one to have because it's helpful to.
It got to be had,
we're able to like listen to each other's frustrations and perspectives. It's great, but at the same time, it can be very divisive. But to answer or to kind of say, piggyback what you're saying, like I said, I feel like what I see, I don't see a lot of Black men in the homes.
But she just talked about numbers. So I mean, you did research on baby mothers, right? So why are you researching that and not Black fathers?
The research is all of us are speaking based on, quote unquote, based off what around us, our surroundings.
Yeah.
You said
all
the
my
numbers,
aunties,
You said the numbers.
Numbers as far as what?
That's what you said. You said the numbers show that America has more baby mothers. That's what you said.
I didn't say numbers, but like, for example, I don't have if you would compare the white family compared to our family, because he said some numbers and statistics, it's like with my community, my aunties, there's no father in the home. All my aunties, all my cousins, there's no fathers in the home.
And your American
but
side,
on the American side.
Well, technically, if we talk about numbers, there are more single white mothers than there are single Black mothers. There's more white women on welfare than there are Black women.
But guess what? Are they showing that on TV? Like most white people are baby mamas. Well, they're not showing that on TV.
That don't mean it don't exist, though.
That is true.
So
we know
so
that.
you get all your information from TV?
I'm just saying that if someone who's never been here,
and that can go to that,
But I mean, the internet accessible to everybody though. Like, I mean, so if you're curious about something, look it up.
That's what they're doing. They're seeing like the trials and
looking. I'm not talking about looking on TV. I'm talking about researching.
I'm just saying, researching. They're getting the statistics. They're knowing like, okay, that's crazy. They can literally pull up facts and be like, this is it. So
I would say that it's facts to prove wrong answers all over. I understand.
So then now we really don't know what is the truth, but if in their own circle and community, that's what they're seeing. Like that's just from my experience from my American side. My dad's side, who is Ghanaian. Everybody is getting married. Like that's in their culture. You get married before you have baby. You get married before, you have a ceremony. Like everything is like traditional. So that's why they say they don't have culture, because it's y'all parents are not forcing Black American men to get. That's one example.
I could agree to a certain degree.
They're not forcing y'all to do that. We're getting married at a younger age and, in a faster
But
rate.
if we're only basing around our circle, I could say that I don't know not one deadbeat man. And I know plenty of men.
You're a pass. What about you?
We in the same circle.
Yeah, circle, but you can't compare a circle to.
But that's what y'all just did.
Nah. That's from my experience.
There's no way.
My experience meaning like what I see every day, living my life. I've been here for how many years on this earth? I don't see a good example of Black men in the home.
But we can say the opposite, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then that's all. That's all we can speak for is what we know.
Because of your personal experiences, like because of your
But you can't. But you can't base a whole group of people on your experience.
Really can, but I'm saying my experience, meaning like not even just my experience, based on statistics, based on what you see on the news, based on people that you know. Like it's just a common it's common knowledge.
You know, I
that
could tell you
black
like the
men are
news is
not
blasphemy
really
because
in the homes.
a black man could do something wrong and go to jail. They'll paint him as a victim. A white kid could shoot up a school and he'll walk out in handcuffs.
Of course now.
But I'm saying we all, African Americans and Africans, could see that they're the ones on the pedestal. But why are we even going in a debate where we have to challenge each other?
The same way black people are always fighting against black people in general, whether it's black on black crime or black
It's a
Americans
little some of
against
that. I
African
ain't gonna hold you.
Americans. It's like
a lot of
it's still it's not changing whether it's back.
But you know what you can also look up? That white people enslaved black people. They
You said
constantly
they didn't.
Huh?
What you saying?
That white people enslave black people.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot up schools. I mean, but your parents are still telling you that to go marry a white man instead of a black man.
Great point.
Like because that goes into the Bible thing. That's why the white Jesus and all that, that white savior complex. That's a whole nother.
So you can't.
But it's safe on that side.
Like, yo, they not violent over there.
We
Like,
could definitely be here all day, but I think we do got to get up out of here. I know y'all got to go. I wish this conversation was longer. It could have been longer. People, you know,
I mean, we had 2 or 3 more questions.
Yeah.